The 26th annual East Bay Winternationals continue here in the sunshine of Tampa, Florida. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm DC Bash. Welcome to Dirt Zone once again. You bet the afternoon has been a long time since the All-Stars have raced during the afternoon. In fact, I think we have to go back to 1998. Track conditions are going to come into play now. Track dries out a lot more than normal during a regular night show, so tires are going to definitely come into play. Here's the question. Lance DeWeese, can anybody stop this guy? Incredible. 3 wins so far in Speed Weeks due to Tim Schaefer's falter last night during the A-Main. Can anybody stop him? Losowski going to be late tonight. Kenny Jacobs, 4-time defending All-Star champion, didn't even make the show last night to let you know how tough the competition is down here. Going to be a war. Let's get busy in Rock East Bay and throw it up top to the voice of Dirt Zone, Rick Eshelman.
Thanks, DC, and welcome everyone to the afternoon edition of Dirt Zone. We're in Gibsonton, Florida once again. Of course, rained out last night, so now we go to a 2-day show, if you will, in 1 day. 26th annual East Bay Winternationals here at the beautiful Gibsonton Speed Plant. The All-Star Circuit of Champions running a day show. Not many of them to be had, and we'll see how the 66 entries fare in the 5 10-lap heat races. Again, 2 Georgia Marketing and Promotion C mains, the 12-lap B, and tonight's A main event. Let's go down pit side with DC Bash.
Well, thanks a lot. He's become a Dirt Zone fixture. Great season in 2001, and looks like we're getting off to a good start 2002 in Speed Weeks. Byron Reed, looking good last night, man.
Not bad. You know, it's a heck of a field of cars here, and we qualified pretty good, but was, start 18th. We got to start in the 14th in the feature, and we was really good in the feature. I got up to 6th, which pretty tough to pass this place, so I was real happy with that. But just tonight, I'd like to qualify a little better, and I think we have something for them.
Keep it in perspective, though. You started 14th last night, and you still ran up pretty good, and it looked like you had a challenge on the lead cars there. Had circumstances turn out different, maybe some more laps, whatnot. The track was coming in for guys that were starting deep in the field.
Yep. Yeah, I think we were just as good as anybody, really, but like I say, 25 laps a little short and starting where we started, but we'll try to get her qualified in a little better today and have a shot at it.
Would you say that 2001 was one of your best seasons in sprint cars? Because, I mean, you just seem to be there every night, night in and night out when it came feature time.
Yeah, it was. It was probably my best season, I'd say. I mean, I had 6 wins in 99. I had 6 wins in 2001, but I had some pretty good wins in 2001. So I'd say it was probably my best year.
Car looks great. It's great to see you back out here again. Best wishes for 2002. What's your plans right now?
We're going to, similar to last year, we're going to hit most all the All-Star shows and some of the other bigger shows as our schedule permits, but we'll be at most of them. You'll see us.
All right, good luck, and we love you, man. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Byron Reed, 6th place last night. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. As you can see, the car's getting pushed started. 2002 standings, 5 events, Lance DeWeese, the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, Tim Schaefer, and the Cat, Dean Jacobs, rounding out the top 5 in points.
Well, without question, the heartbreak of the night has to go to this guy, and I hate having to give it to him, but, man, it was a tough break. You were running off with it, Tim Schaefer, and as they say in sprint car racing, you got to maneuver that lap traffic. Doggone it, what happened?
Actually, I was being patient. I thought I was, anyhow. I was coming up through there really good, taking my time, and, it's one of them deals, a racing deal. It's nothing you can do about it. Come up on a lap car, and he kind of darted. He didn't mean it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's racing. That's the way it goes. And hopefully you don't do that tonight.
You couldn't have a better setup down here. The checkered flag just does not seem to want to jump your way. But as far as I'm concerned, you have been in position nearly every night to take a checkered flag here in Florida so far.
Yeah, we definitely had the potential. 3 or 4 nights to really be able to win. And, I'm down to the last car and last motor. So we're not going to give up yet. So we'll see what we got left.
You said a couple of nights ago you're down here to have fun. I know things like last night are no fun, but you still seem to really enjoy the sport, and best wishes here tonight at East Bay.
Well, thanks. That's part of it. I think the longer hours you put in it, the more you appreciate it. So, last night we was up till 4:30 and got up at 8:30 this morning and start all over. So today's going to be a tough day. We got all day long racing tonight, so I'm going to be whooped after tonight.
You play the game so well, even with pain, but we do wish you the best.
Thank you.
Tim Schaefer, heartbreak of the night last night. Back to you, Rick.
Well, it's good to see a smile on Tim Schaefer's face, game face on Gary Wright, 3-time, 4-time NCRA champion, and he's going to be in action in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Crown Battery Heat Race number 1. Zach Chappell on the pole in 50Z, Greg Wilson in 63. NCRA's best, Gary Wright in 9, Phil Gressman in the white number 9. Tim Schaefer, heartbreak of the night last night in 45. The Apple Chevrolet of Greg Hodnett in 12. Johnny Mackison in 65. Local hero Sport Allen in 88. The crowd pleaser Craig Delansky in 7. Bill Rose, rookie contender in 6B. Michael Smith in the 3 car tonight. And Jack Hewitt out of Troy, Ohio in the NBC steering and pump number 31. Crown Battery Heat Race number 1 gets the green. We're underway. Greg Wilson jumps into the lead. Chappell into second. Third is Gressman, and in trouble, Sport Allen. 360 spin in turn number 1. The caution flag comes out. Well, Sport Allen, one of the local heroes, bringing out the first caution. And we'll re-rack them, restack them, and try them again. Zach Chappell, Greg Wilson on the front row. The 9 cars of Wright and Gressman in row 2. Green is out again. We're underway. They hammer into turn number 1. This time it's Zach Chappell. Here comes Gary Wright. He'll take over second. Tim Schaefer had the lead last night and lost it, hitting Rodney Duncan. And this time Greg Hodnett gets tagged in turn number 2 after spinning it out. Caution flag, Michael Smith, and now the red as Michael Smith on his side over in the backstretch. Tough break for the driver of 3. Hallmark Race Trailers replay shows that Hodnett got loose coming out of 2, heading backwards down the backstretch. No place for the 3T to go, and he goes over on the side. And Hodnett fortunately got the Apple Chevrolet in motion and kept going. We'll see if the third time's a charm as Zach Chappell and Greg Wilson again lead the 9 cars in row number 2. Afternoon show going to be a little tricky on handling as we go green once again. Now Greg Wilson and Zach Chappell side by side. They each had a lead on the start. This time they were wheel to wheel into turn 1. Wilson with a slight advantage, but Zach Chappell right there with him. Out of 4 they remain side by side, and once Chappell just gets by Wilson, and Delansky in trouble. Craig Delansky, left front suspension is broke. Caution flag is out once again, and the crowd pleaser is not happy right now. Craig Delansky's Polydome Caravan, number 7, the driver out of Elk River, Minnesota, in trouble, and so is Johnny Mackison in the 65. Looks like he may have some damage. We did get one in on the Cali's Performance scoreboard. 9 more to go. It's Wilson, Zach Chappell, Gary Wright, Tim Schaefer, your top 4. Looking for green this time. Phil Gressman running in 5th as we get set to go out of turn number 4, and we are underway. Sunshine in the Sunshine State here at the 26th Annual Winternationals, and Greg Wilson shining down the backstretch into turn number 3. Zach Chappell takes a look inside, can't make the pass. Tim Schaefer working on Gary Wright. Leaders going to 1 and 2. It's Wilson, Chappell, Wright, Schaefer, and Gressman, your top 5. Down the backstretch, Phil Gressman, 360 standout in Northwest Ohio, working on Tim Schaefer, and Gressman has the hookup. Phil Gressman now slides, rubs the cushion, and gets right back in it, down the back, shooting into 3. Good battle between Phil Gressman and Tim Schaefer running in the top 5. But it's Greg Wilson out front, the Hampshire motor. Marfield Gifted Fruit, number 63, leads 360 standout Zach Chappell. Some of these 360 drivers may like the sunshine conditions here today. Little less horsepower in these 410s as they'll slide through the corners, and that may benefit some of these 360 drivers. Wilson in his own right, also a great 360 driver, but is making his own in the 410 ranks in 2002. Chappell to the outside of Wilson for the lead. He'll take it over in turn 1. Zach Chappell now in the lead. Greg Wilson loses traction. Gary Wright running 3rd. Tim Schaefer continues to hold down the number 4 spot in the 45. Led the feature last night and then got on the right rear of Rodney Duncan, and that was the end of his ride. But nevertheless, Tim Schaefer comes battling right back and now goes to work on Gary Wright down the back, shooting into 3. Schaefer closes in on the NCRA champion as they head into the corner. Tim Schaefer running the bottom, Gary Wright middle groove, and Schaefer finds speed down the back, shoot into 3. He'll go by Gary Wright in turn number 3. Zach Chappell out front and in command as we close in on the end of Crown Battery Heat Race number 1. Zach Chappell having his way with the field. Took a little to get by Greg Wilson, but finally got it done. Down the front stretch, checkered flag. Your winner, Zach Chappell. Coming across the line second, Greg Wilson. Tim Schaefer with a respectable third. Gary Wright comes home fourth. And Phil Gressman rounding out the top 5. Great heat race action, but it's Zach Chappell in the 50Z picking up the first of 5 heat races this afternoon here at the East Bay Raceway. Good run for the Goodson Incorporated 50Z car. He's going to the feature event. We're going to commercial break. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go too far. This is Dirt Zone.
Okie doke, welcome back. Winner of heat number 1, young Zach Chappell. Zach, great job out there, man. You were holding off some big names.
Yeah, we had a pretty good car during the heat race. We were just perfect pretty much.
You and Greg Wilson were playing cat and mouse there, and you finally got the jump on him, and you held off some big names out there. Gary Wright was in that heat. He knows his way around this track. Greg Hodnett. I mean, so you're whipping on some big guys out there at your young age.
Yeah, I mean, we finally figured the chassis out, and we got stuff rolling. Mr. Goodson Farms, Strawberry Company, he's helping us out a little bit. So hopefully we can make him look good and do some good while we're at it.
All right, it's good seat time for you out here. I know you're the ASCS champion. You're looking really good in these 410s, though, man. It looks like you have a big future.
Yeah, we're just taking one step at a time, try to take it as slow as possible.
Okay, time for the freak show. Zach Chappell, winner of heat number 1. Good luck in the A-main. Give us the duck neck on the way out here before we go back to Rick.
All right.
Excellent, excellent.
Well, I guess if it's ever a photo finish and Zach Chappell's involved, he may win by a neck. Unbelievable. Byron Reed on the pole for B&B Oval Products Heat Race number 2, the Duke Danny Lasowski, Lance DeWeese in 77, Rodney Duncan in 22. Then the 19 of Stevie Smith, the 15K of Chad Kemenaugh, Dickie Gaines in the number 70, the V8 of Jeff Hodgson, Terry McCarl, Jody Keegan, Barry Rubel, and Joe Bastias as we go green. B&B Oval Products Heat Race number 2, and we got troubles as Jody Keegan, who had problems a couple nights ago, again this time rides the wall in turn number 1. And you'll see on the Hallmark Race Trailers replay, he got into the wall, got the tires up on the wall, rode it down a little bit, and comes to rest, and Jody Keegan's problems continue. Field lineup again, side by side. Byron Reed, the dude, Danny Lasowski had a good run, finishing second on our last show. And we'll see what the dude can do at the field this time as they head down the front stretch. Green is out. We are underway, and the dude shoots into the lead early on. Byron Reed the second. Rodney Duncan running in that third spot as they head down the back stretch and into 3. And here comes Lance DeWeese, Mr. Florida 2002 right now. And he's battling with Rodney Duncan for that third spot. DeWeese in the 77, Duncan in the 22, wheel to wheel down the back chute into turn number 3. They stay side by side, and now DeWeese gets the advantage up high, and he'll use it. Takes over the third spot, and now has his sights set on the 5 of Byron Reed. Down the backstretch, Reed running in the second spot, DeWeese running in third. And they are nose to tail as the dude in command in the JD Byrider Tony Stewart Motorsports number 20. Danny Lasowski, who is Mr. Florida 2001, would like to regain that title, if you will, by leading this race, winning it, and going on to pick up a few more features here in Florida before they head north for a long, grueling 2002 season. Chad Kemenaugh in the 15K, you remember rightly, last year led the points all year in the All-Star Circuit of Champions, only to fall to the mouse in the last couple of weeks. Kemenaugh was on a mission when he came down to Florida. He said he wanted to win the title this year. He went to Australia for a while, did some good racing down there, and I think that may have helped him out in his title points chase for this year. Continuing on, Byron Reed. Now here's the rumble of Lance DeWeese. Byron Reed running in second, DeWeese in third, and Lance DeWeese has had a real good February. Let's see if it continues as Byron Reed trying to hold off one of the better drivers in the winter right now, and Lance DeWeese continues to peck away as they go around Joe Bastias down the backstretch. Into 3, DeWeese low, Reed high, coming across the line. Byron Reed opens up a little bit of a gap now on Lance DeWeese. Your leader, Danny Lasowski, way out front, going to work on the number 70 car of Dickie Gaines. And across the line again, it's still the number 20 of Danny, the dude Lasowski, and he has got every switch turned on in that JD Byrider number 20. Lasowski working the corners. He looks really smooth here this afternoon. As the checkered flag comes out, Lasowski comes home your winner in convincing fashion. Second goes to Byron Reed. Lance DeWeese is gonna grab third. Fourth goes to Chad Kemenaugh, Rodney Duncan, rounding out the top 5. Rest of the field crosses the line, and the dude, Danny Lasowski, going to victory. Danny the Dude Lasowski has had a good run in Florida. No surprise, there will be some on Dirt Zone. Don't go away.
Welcome back, winner of heat number 2, and congrats in order before I go one step further. 6th place in the IROC race today over at Daytona.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. I went from first to last in the first lap, and my boss helped me a bunch. Tony helped me from losing the draft, and he peeled off me and did his job and won the race, and I was very proud. I got to watch him. I was in the draft with him. There were the top 6 of us right together.
The miracle everybody's asking up in the tower is, who is that in the 20 car? And I'm like, I think it's Lasowski. And then I watched you qualify and watched you take over the race. I'm like, I know it's Lasowski, okay?
Yeah, thank God he's got a jet, because in 19 minutes he had me from Daytona Airport to here, and we got here in time to run. This was kind of tough, that the rescheduled deal, but we're going to do the best we can. We're behind the 8 ball qualifying that late, so we'll just see what we got.
You're a fierce competitor, though. I know you can work your way to the front in this thing. Yeah, checkered flag just isn't going to elude you too long.
We're going to give her 110%, I promise.
All right, Danny, good luck in the event.
Thank you.
Danny the Dude Lasowski, winner of heat number 2. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. Well, the Dude putting in some double time here this afternoon, running the IROC race over at Daytona. Now back on the dirt as we are at Engler Machine and Tool Heat Race number 3. Todd Kane in 29, Shane Stewart in 8H. As we get the green out of turn number 4 underway, the Jet Jeff Shepard and Billy Pouch trying to close in on Todd Kane. There goes the Jet in the 6 car tonight, and he jets by them both in turn number 3. Pouch now to the inside of Todd Kane. Coming out of 4, Billy Pouch catches a run down low. Got a little too low on the bottom of the racetrack and paid the price. Jason Sides right there with him. Mr. 360 in Florida, Jason Sides, having a strong run here, and he'd like to show these 410 guys he's got what it takes as they come out of turn number 4. Travis Ryland in the 1A, now closing in on Jason Sides. Ryland has been pretty much unspoken about so far in Florida Speed Weeks. Hasn't done a whole lot. He'd like to crack the bubble now and get into the top 5, get into a feature event, and maybe win some money here. Travis Ryland, Rookie of the Year last year, is having a tough go in Florida in 2002. And Billy Pouch has had a pretty rough Florida so far too, but he seems to have things working a little bit better now in heat race number 3. But out front, down the backstretch, Shane Stewart, the Holbrook Motorsports 8H car in the lead. Taking a look at Jason Sides again was Travis Ryland, got in the cushion, slowed down a little, but Shane Stewart has got it all turned on down the back chute into turn number 3. Shane Stewart runs with just about every group there is if he gets the chance, and right now with the All-Stars, he's showing he's got what it takes to run with these guys that run 50 to 60 races a year. And that's nothing for Shane Stewart, who's used to doing the same thing. So these All-Stars got their work cut out because they've got the best from every sanctioning body down here in Florida. It's like an all-star event with the All-Stars. And right now the All-Stars are having a tough go as Shane Stewart is showing the way. Travis Ryland has been in a battle with Jason Sides. Seems like forever in this heat event. They touch, and Ryland's in trouble. He collects the wall, and that's going to do it for Travis Ryland in this heat event. Ryland battling with Jason Sides, couldn't get around him. And you'll see on the Hallmark Race Trailers replay, they got side by side, and again a right rear tire causing a wreck. This time it's Jason Sides' right rear that got run up on by Travis Ryland, and he's going to go to the pits. Callie's Performance Scoreboard shows 7 in 3 to go. Shane Stewart, your leader. Jeff Shepard, second. And running in third, it's Billy Pouch in the 55. Todd Kane running fourth. Back to green we go. Shane Stewart in the bright sunshine takes the green. We're underway. They head into turn number 2 and come out down the backstretch. Sides taking a look to the outside now of Pouch. Now he'll look inside in turn number 3. Slower car in the way. As we stay under green, Kurt Trainer's lap car this time caught Sides a little, and now trouble for the 3B of Scott Bunnell. Bunnell in the wall, caution flag is out. What a tough break for Scott Bunnell in the 3B, getting into the turn 3 wall, and obviously he's done for this event. Callie's Performance shows 8 in, 2 to go. Green-white checkered situation in heat race number 3. Should be an exciting finish once again as we get them lined up single file order, nose to tail on the restart. Green is out, Shane Stewart takes off, Jeff Shepard chasing him down. Billy Pouch has to contend with Kurt Trainer, who's a lap down, running into third racing position as they head down the back stretch and into turn number 3. White flag coming out to the field. Now Eric Heisong to the inside of Todd Kane as we have 1 to go. Down the backstretch, Shane Stewart in the Holbrook Motorsports, number 8H, having his way with the field, bringing it out of turn number 4. Checkered flag goes to Shane Stewart. Second to the Jet, Jeff Shepard. Billy Pouch comes home third. Jason Seitz impressive in fourth. And Todd Kane hangs on to that number 5 position. The Red Line Oil 8H of Shane Stewart picking up Engler Machine and Tool Heat Race number 3. He's going to go to the feature event. And we are going to go to commercial break here in just a moment. Lots of racing action to go from here in Gibsonton, Florida. You're watching Dirt Zone. Keep watching.
Welcome back, winner of heat number 3, Shane Stewart. Great run out there on this hard, dry track at East Bay.
This place has been really tough on us. We've struggled ever since we've been here. We struggled with the 360, and we were fortunate enough to have some good breaks yesterday and start on the front row of the feature last night and ended up running 4th, which was good for us. But we just haven't been that fast here. We qualified bad here tonight, and like you said, I mean, the track's tough. It's hard. It's going to be really hard to pass in the feature.
Overall, for Speed Week so far, you've been close, you've been up front, you've been a threat, but that checkered flag, man, you got to be hungry.
Yeah, we are. We're real hungry. I mean, considering how good we finished the year off last year, and we really had high hopes for doing really well down here, and it just hasn't worked out like we wanted it to. You have to have a lot of luck, along with everything else. So if the luck don't play in the part, you won't do good.
Tim Shaver was an example of that last night. Luck does play a big role into it, but good luck in the A-Main, and go get them.
Thank you very much.
Shane Stewart, winner of heat number 3. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. TP Wings Heat Race number 4 has the Jacobs brothers on the front row. Kenny inside and Dane outside. Blake Feast goes from the number 3 spot. Then it's Fast Freddie Raymer in 88. Mike Erdley in 11 and the 35 of Tyler Walker. Danny Smith in 51. Tom Bush in 4B. 92 car of the Brownsburg Bullet. Joey Saldana. Kevin Fry in 2K. Larry Penniger in the number 11L. Spud Gustin in 10G. And Bill Kiley in the 4K as we get set for TP Wings Heat Race number 4, afternoon edition of Dirt Zone. And it's been good racing so far. Let's see what happens as they come out of Fort Green as out we're underway. Jacobs inside, Jacobs outside. They are battling it out. The brothers Jacobs down the backstretch, and the champion, the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, will lead the Cat into turn number 3 on lap 1. Running in third, it's the 88 of Freddie Raymer. Tyler Walker holding down the 4th spot in 35. Had his problems the last time we seen him on Dirt Zone. Hopefully he has righted the ship for today's racing. On the inside goes Danny Smith, gets around Blake Feast in the 1F car. Across the line your leaders go. Tyler Walker had an auspicious start to Speed Week's Winternational style here at East Bay. Seems to have things going pretty good, but would like to get a win and get some confidence back to that race team as Kenny Jacobs, that bright fluorescent orange number 6 car. He's heard him earlier on Dirt Zone a few weeks ago, said he did this so his dad could see him race because his dad's eyesight is going away. Pretty nice gesture by the Mouse Kenny Jacobs to help his dad watch him run wherever he may be racing. Freddie Raymer in 88 has a solid run going right now in the Miller number 88 car in turn number 3. Goes around a slower car as we stay under green. Danny Smith seems to be working the best right now. He's picking his way through the field, going to work on Tyler Walker in the number 35. As we head down the backstretch and into 3. Joey Saldana going on the inside now, looking to the outside of Blake Feast. Can't make anything happen, and Tyler Walker has his program going well. They go by Spud Gustin a lap down. Tyler Walker working on Fast Freddie Raymer in turn number 3. They bring it down the front stretch. Raymer holds him off for the moment. Freddie Raymer in the 88 car. One of the East Coast boys having a pretty good Winter Nationals. He's also had an extremely well Florida Speed Weeks, picking up some wins. Right now, it's Fast Freddie Raymer in the number 88, working hard, but Kenny Jacobs putting a hurt on the field. The Mouse bringing the Maxim chassis down across the line, still way out front. Dean Jacobs running in second and starting to backpedal a little bit. Jacobs first, Jacobs second. Out of turn number 4, defending All-Star Circuit of Champions champion takes the checkered flag to win heat race number 4. Dean Jacobs is second. Third goes to Tyler Walker. Freddie Raymer 4, Danny Smith rounding out the top 5. You don't get to see it often, but when you do, it's always a treat. This time it's Kenny Jacobs beating Dean Jacobs to the checkered flag in TP Wings heat race number 4. We'll go down and talk to the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs, the winner of the event, in just a moment. We got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. This is Dirt Zone from Florida.
Welcome back. 4-time defending All-Star champion Kenny Jacobs knocking it down. A little brotherly love there on the front row in heat number 4, man.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. How in the world, 60-some cars, how can we line up beside each other in a heat race? You know, that's almost impossible. But I guess I'd just soon race with him as anybody else.
I got to tell you, I was brokenhearted last night. You didn't make the show. You didn't time in well. Didn't time in real good tonight. But you're guaranteed you make the show. You're in it, man.
Yeah, you know, last time we missed the inversion. The heat races last night, there was hardly any passing going on at all. And tonight, it's starting to get that way again this afternoon. But we made the inversion, so we're at least in the A main. So now we can go forward. Last time we had to sit there and watch, and not much fun watching.
The aggravation of a competitor, you got to love it. Kenny, good luck in the A main.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Winner of heat number 4, Kenny Jacobs. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. We're at our 5th and final heat event, last preliminary before the C's, the B's, and the A. It's Michael Dupuy on the pole in 4M, the U2 of Paul McMahon, Mike Wagner in 55, the 4K of Kelly Kinzer, Sean Chaney in the 27, Jason Johnson in 41, Christy Passmore in 1AX, the 29 of Terry Pletch, George Suprick in 87, Leonard Lee in 16L, and Wisconsin's Jason Johnson in the number 44 as we get set for green. Last chance for these guys to get in the easy way before they have to go consolation racing as green is out. We're underway. Taking the lead, Michael Dupuy in 4M, Kelly Kinzer in 4K. And again, let's see if Kelly Kinzer makes his patented inside racing groove as Jason Johnson, the racing patron out of Louisiana, works the inside of Mike Wagner. Wagner lost traction up in the cushion and he'll drop a spot. Paul McMahon now out front. McMahon, the United U2 sponsored machine, has got it all turned on. Dupuy holding on to that second spot as they go into turn number 1 and 2. Kelly Kinzer 3rd, Jason Johnson 4th, Wagner 5th. Now the battle for 4th between Wagner and Johnson. They'll go nose to tail down the back chute and into turn number 3. Wagner to the inside, Johnson to the outside. You can see that right rear of Wagner spinning quickly. He has not got a good fight here this afternoon. Tire selection is at a premium for these races. Right now it appears that Michael Wagner may have made a poor tire selection. That right rear is getting absolutely no bite in the hot Florida sunshine. Field continues on and they start to stretch out now just a little bit in this 5th heat. Paul McMahon in the U2 goes around Wisconsin's Jason Johnson, puts him a lap down. The United Express Lines U2 car having a great run. Californian Paul McMahon goes around George Suprick and puts him a lap down. As Michael Dupuy in 2nd, just crossing the line. Your leader already in turn number 2, but Michael Dupuy having a stellar run here. You don't hear a lot about this gentleman throughout the racing season with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, but he's making his name known here this afternoon. And that's going to be the ticket for a lot of these drivers. Get a good run in the daytime because they got to run another one at night. Same racetrack, but it'll be 2 totally different conditions going from hot sunshine to cool night air. Kelly Kinzer finds himself on the outside of the racetrack, uncharacteristic for the driver out of Bloomington, Indiana. We'll see if he brings that car down as the race goes on. Jason Johnson going around Jason Johnson, if you will. And Mike Wagner now about to put the Wisconsin driver also down a position as he goes around him. Johnson a lap down. Jason Johnson from Louisiana, however, is on the lead and in the top 5. We look at your leader, Paul McMahon. Coming out of turn number 4 across the line, checkered flag. McMahon going to the feature event. Michael Dupuy, a stellar run in 2nd. 3rd will go to Kinzer. 4th will go to Johnson. And 5th will go to Mike Wagner. Well, Paul McMahon, the United Specialties U2 car, had his way with the field, looked really strong. He may be a definite factor in this feature event. As we have now completed our 5 qualifying heats. Couple of C's, a B, and then of course the A. It's all coming your way in a moment on Dirt Zone. Don't go away.
Welcome back. The U2 sprinter Paul McMahon knocking it down in heat 5. Great run out there.
You know, it was a good run for us. The United Express Lane car's running real good, but, you know, it's a luxury to starting up front. We didn't qualify so good, so makes us look good in the heat race, but we got a long ways to go in the feature.
Long time since we ran a day track. That track is really hard now.
Yeah, it's real hard, but I mean, when the sun's beating down as hard as it is today, and we got 70 cars out there qualifying. We got some mini sprints racing with us. You can't expect the racetrack to be in perfect condition, but hopefully it'll be pretty decent, not tear up too many tires.
You ran 12th last night. Wish you the best of the A-main tonight. Get a better finish, even a checkered flag, man.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, Paul McMahon, winner of heat number 5. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, DC. We take a look at the first Georgia Marketing and Promotion C-Main event. Top 2 finishers move to the tail of the B event, so it's a little bit of a progressive portion to get in. And taking a look out front, good battle up front between Craig Delansky and the V8 of the Juice, Jeff Hodgson. Hodgson got the slide job put on him by Delansky in 3, but returned the favor down the front stretch. Jeff Hodgson and Craig Delansky running out front, and Hodgson went on to win C-Main number 1. Craig Delansky came home second, so those 2 drivers, the first 2 to transfer to the tail of the B-Main event and still have a shot of getting in the A-Main. Second C-Main event, Terry McCarroll out front, and coming out of turn number 4, the 92 of Joey Saldana worked him inside going into turns 1 and 2. Saldana in the ImperialPackaging.com Denny Ashworth entry got around McCarroll out of 2 and drug him into turn number 3 as they went to put a lap on the veteran Johnny Johnson. Down the front stretch and across the line, it was the 92 of Joey Saldana, Terry McCarroll finishing second. Those 2 drivers then went to the back of the B-Main event, which is the last chance for these drivers to get in the big A-Main event this afternoon. And in that B-Main event, coming out of turn number 2 down the backstretch, Stevie Smith chasing down the Apple Chevrolet of Greg Hodnett in the number 12. They came out of turn number 4 across the line. Hodnett picked up the victory. Stevie Smith was second. Shawn Michael come home third. And Phil Gressman rounded out the top 4 cars. Those cars finished high enough in the B to get in the main event. And Greg Hodnett, not used to running B-Main events wherever he goes, had to work for this one. So it's going to be a tough way to go for Greg Hodnett, starting way at the tail of today's A-Main event. The A-Main is next. That's all's left. Don't go too far. It's Dirt Zone. This is it. A-Main feature time. Dirt Zone proud to bring you the broadcast of the All-Star Circuit of Champions at the 26th Annual Florida Winternationals Florida Speed Week. This is Rick Eshelman in the tower, and we've got some great racing action coming this afternoon. Yep, that's right. Afternoon racing for the All-Stars hasn't happened in some 4 years. And they get to do it here as a rainout last night, forcing a 2-day show here this afternoon. They'll run another complete program on the evening portion of this event. Should be some good racing as we look at the feature lineup. Keller Chevrolet starting lineup has Tim Schaefer and Jason Johnson in row 1, Tyler Walker and Shawn Michael in row 2. Row 3 has Chad Kemenaugh and Greg Hodnett. Row number 4 is Stevie Smith and Phil Gressman. Row 5 it's Billy Pouch and Fast Freddie Raymer. Row 6, Kelly Kinzer, that's right, Gary Wright. Lance DeWeese, Jeff Shepard in row 7. Row 8, Greg Wilson and Danny the Dude Lasowski. Shane Stewart and Gene Jacobs in row 9. Row 10, Paul McMahon, Zach Chappell. Row 11, Byron Reed, the Mouse, Kenny Jacobs. Row 12, Michael Dupuy and Jason Sides. Row 13, Travis Rylett, Mike Eardley. We look for green this time. Out of 4, Schaefer leads him across the line. Here we go. Tim Schaefer, Jason Johnson, and the number 35 of Tyler Walker. And Walker fires by Johnson to take over the number 2 spot. Single file order here in a couple laps, but right now it's side-by-side racing, and the caution is waving. We slow them down on lap number 1. Safety crew heading out of the infield, going to turn number 2. And it looks like it is Jason Sides, Byron Reed, and Michael Dupuy all involved in turn 2. And it looks like the worst for Sides, who's up on Dupuy's left front. Taking a look at the Hallmark Race Trailers replay, looks like Paul McMahon got loose, collected by Byron Reed. Dupuy nowhere to go, and obviously Sides runs into the side of Michael Dupuy, bringing out the caution. We'll line them up again, single file coming up in just a moment, but not right now. Side by side is the way we like them. Here we go, out of 4. Set for green, again Tim Schaefer gets the jump. Jason Johnson second, and the 35 of Walker third, and just like the opening start, it was the car out front, Tim Schaefer, And Tyler Walker made the move. He made it again. This time Johnson slams the door in his face. And Tyler Walker broke traction there for a moment, had to regather his composure and get back into it as they head out of 2 down the backstretch. Schaefer, Johnson running nose to tail. Jason Johnson, the racing Cajun out of Eunice, Louisiana, drove last year for Jack Eldon for a while, is back in his familiar competition, number 41. And he's got a good bite through the corners. You can see that left front coming up off the ground, right rear digging in. Into turn number 4, Tim Schaefer in 45. Led the feature, if you remember last time on Dirt Zone, climbed the right rear of Rodney Duncan, forced him out of the race, and he was one hot race car driver when he got out of that car. And I think he's got a little momentum now with that anxiety he had from losing that feature event to be out front. Gary Wright and Danny Lasowski, 2 champions from 2001, one with the Outlaws, one with the NCRA, and they are battling nose to tail across the line. The Jet, Jeff Shepard in front of Lasowski and Wright. Looking up front, fast Freddie Raymer in 88. There's Kelly Kittler in the 4K. Lance Deweese in 77. Good action early on in this feature event from East Bay Raceway. Your leaders a half a track ahead of that duet as we go into turn number 3. Here comes your leader, Schaefer out of 4, Jason Johnson 2nd, Tyler Walker running 3rd. They thunder into the corner. You can see the track getting nice and black. A lot of rubber being laid down right now in this feature event. Hot summer temperatures in the winter in Florida, and the track is getting awfully black for these drivers. They are really going to have to feather their way on the throttle through these corners. Down the backstretch, Tim Schaefer going to work in turn number 3. Wants to prove that last time's feature should have been won by him, and he's out to prove that right now. As they start to approach slower traffic, Tyler Walker almost got into the left rear of Jason Johnson. Little bit of close quarters there as Chad Kavanaugh has worked his way into a top 5, and Kavanaugh definitely wants to have a good showing down here in Florida while he's here each and every night. And right now he's got a pretty good run going. Johnson in the 41 remains ahead of the 35 of Tyler Walker. Walker trying to get it done, trying to do one of those patented backflips if he can win the feature. It's been a while since we've seen that, and that's always a sight to see at the racetrack when Tyler Walker wins. He usually gets out of the car and does a backflip on the ground, so we'll see if Walker can get that done here this afternoon. Long way to go in this feature event. Field now stretched out in single file order. Phil Gressman in the number 9. Going to work on Stevie Smith, and trouble again for Byron Reed. Reed spinning in between turns 1 and 2. Callie's performance tells us we're almost halfway. 11 in and 14 to go. Zach Chappell into 50Z, running side by side with Jason Johnson. Zach Chappell needs to get in his correct running position before we can go back to green. And he is going to do so now as we come out of 4, back underway. They take it into turns 1 and 2. Everybody back up to full song engine-wise as we are at green flag. Kavanaugh and Hodnett battling it out. Greg Hodnett in the Apple Chevrolet number 12 and the Underground Utilities Incorporated Harville Motorsports entry of Chad Kavanaugh in 15K going nose to tail. Tyler Walker taking a look to the inside of Zach Chappell. He'll go by with no problem in turn number 3. Walker working the inside of the racetrack, chasing down Jason Johnson. Stevie Smith in his own car for the last week, running the number 19 before he goes with the Outlaws in a new ride for 2002. Now the United Specialties U2 of Paul McMahon goes inside of Shane Stewart. Little bit of tire smoke there in turn number 3. They close in on Billy Pouch and Gary Wright. Good side-by-side battles going on down the front stretch and into turn number 1. There's the 34 of the Cat, D. Jacobs, behind Shane Stewart and ahead of Paul McMahon. And Tim Schaefer out front and in command in 45. Schaefer working out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. There's second place, Jason Johnson. Third place, Tyler Walker. Across the line they go and into turns 1 and 2. Shawn Michael in the 1Z. Haven't mentioned him much today. He's having a great run running in 4th. Chad Kavanaugh holds down the 5th spot, and it's all Tim Schaefer. Now Schaefer gets to where he was last time in lap traffic. Let's see if Schaefer negotiates it a little bit better than he did. As you know, he ran over 22 Rodney Duncan, cost him the race, so he's going to be a little more cautious this time in lap traffic, but he can't be too cautious as Jason Johnson and the 35 of Tyler Walker know that he is now in lap contention, and that's going to be a little bit harder for your leader as these two try to battle towards the front. Shawn Michael having a good run, but bringing out the caution flag. Zach Chappell in 50Z. 18 and 7 to go on the Cali's Performance scoreboard. And tough break for Zach Chappell. ASCS standout in the 360s, now relegated to the tail as we get set to go green. Single file order, nose to tail on the restart. Only 7 to go for Tim Schaefer. Gotta be white knuckled by now as he comes out of 4 back on the hammer. At least there's no lap traffic in his way. And it could end up he has clear sailing for the rest of the race. We'll see how it shakes down. We'll have 6 to go this time by. Down the backstretch, Walker still trying to figure out Jason Johnson. Chad Kemenaugh now closing in on Shawn Michael. Kemenaugh looking to get the number 4 position away from the 1Z driver. He's got a ways to go. Shane Stewart in the 8H working Paul McMahon on the outside as they take that battle into 1 and 2. Dean Jacobs and Billy Pouch to the inside of the 8H of Shane Stewart. We've got 5 to go. Down on the inside goes Jacobs, to the outside goes Shane Stewart. The Apple Chevrolet 12 battling with the 19 of Stevie Smith. The number 88 car, fast Freddie Raymer in turns 3 and 4, also trying to gain some positions before this one's over. And the track is jet black now in the corners. Up front, Jason Johnson running in that 2nd spot ahead of Tyler Walker and Shawn Michael. They're all chasing down your leader, Tim Schaefer in 45. Chad Kemenaugh still working on the 1Z of Shawn Michael. Laps winding down quickly now. Field thunders down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Tim Schaefer coming out of 4, still your leader. On net, holding off Stevie Smith for position. We're getting close now, 2-lap signal given. Tim Schaefer chasing down the slower car of Byron Reed out of turn number 4. Tim Schaefer is on his way to a victory and should have been 2 in a row, but that's past history. The present is now. The present is where Tim Schaefer is about to pick up a Winternationals feature event. Across the line, it's Tim Schaefer. 2nd goes to Racing Cajun Jason Johnson. 3rd will go to Tyler Walker. Shawn Michael 4th. Chad Kemenaugh 5th. Greg Hodnett, Stevie Smith, Freddie Raymer, Phil Gressman, and Lance DeWeese round out the top 10. Well, Tim Schaefer got it done in convincing fashion, proved that the night before was no fluke. He deserved to be out front once again. Had the setup here at East Bay, and tough to do on a night race the race before and a day race here this afternoon. But Tim Schaefer getting congratulations from the Cat, Dean Jacobs. Good run, Tim, way to go. We'll go down pit side and track side in victory lane with today's winner on Dirt Zone.
Thanks, Rick. I got to tell you, I can't think of a guy that deserves this more than you, Tim Schaefer, for the A-Main here at East Bay. You've worked so hard for this, and it just hasn't come your way, man. It was just a matter of time.
Well, I tell you, the whole crew, everybody helped me. The 41 guys helped me. I mean, everybody. It was a team effort, plus a lot of teams pitched in and helped. And, we worked till 5 o'clock this morning putting this thing together, and we needed a break and finally got one.
Got back to lap traffic. Did it happen to get in your mind what happened last night? It's like, okay, be careful, watch it.
Well, it's a different track, though. I mean, you got rubber down, and it's easy to make a more mistake. And, and I always trying to keep my cool and just ride it out and try to get a lap car when I know I can clear it.
You've been telling me have fun, and this has got to make it all worth it because you've worked so hard.
But definitely, it's for everybody. Everybody's been struggling. We're all tired, and and this is what we do it for, to win. So it makes it special for us.
Let's make it 2 in a row, and good job, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right, Tim Schaefer, winner of the A-Main. Back to you, Rick.
Well, thanks, Bash. Well, a happy Tim Schaefer, but an unhappy Byron Reed, the Track Action Racing Collectibles heartbreak of the night. Got involved in an accident that cost him. Let's go down to Jason Johnson.
Thanks, Rick. Runner-up here tonight at East Bay. Jason Johnson, man, it's been coming a while. You're getting closer and closer, but you're looking real good out here in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, we've been running since we got here, and last night we had a little bit of motor trouble, but tonight we got things going a little bit better, qualified much better, and got to start up front, and that's where it counts.
You look like a happy man back with this 41 team. You look like a guy on a resolve for a championship somewhere this year.
Yeah, I mean, You know, we have a lot of fun with this team. I mean, that's half a race in there. It's kind of like Daniel Lasowski and Tony Stewart. The people match. It works out great, and there's success. Same thing here. The chemistry's here, and we're having a ball.
Track started laying rubber. You did take a shot at Tim Schaefer one time. Do you think you had him?
Well, actually, I did. I mean, I think he might have heard me and kind of run me up in the wall there, but I don't know if I could have held him back even if I did get in front of him. He was real nice, and I was a little bit tight getting into one. So we salvaged second out of today, and we're going to be back tonight.
You've got great things in your future. Good job here tonight for runner-up.
Thank you very much.
Jason Johnson, second place here tonight. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Bash. That'll do it from East Bay Raceway this afternoon. More great racing action coming your way courtesy of Raceway Video. For Jeff Christensen, Steve Baylor, and Bo Daniel doing great camera work here on this sunshine afternoon. This is Rick Eshelman saying good afternoon, good night. We'll see you again with more great sprint car racing.